have an opportunity to inspire people, they actually get to see what you do. They get to see your spirit on the field. They really get to see who you are. When this professional league came up, I just had to jump on it. And so I left the Air Force and now I'm full-time professional doing this. And it's just one dream rolling into the other. It's really cool. And I'm very grateful for that.
This one has all the makings of a Game of the Year candidate.
The Major League Rugby.
The first try of the match. Well, folks, this one has all the makings of a Game of the Year candidate.
The Major League Rugby Championship Series on
This one The quest for the first line in Major League Rugby history begins today as the Championship Series kicks off right here at Infinity Park. Only 4 teams remain, now all black and blue with pride, hope and postseason determination. Only ultimate victory will be enough for the almost undefeated Glendale Raptors. Their rugby tradition flies high in the Colorado Rockies. Former Chicago Bear Paul Lasike plans to crash his Utah Warriors headlong into the Raptors' home winning streak. But first, the San Diego Legion and their flock of USA Eagles will try to tear down the Seattle Seawolves and their aptly named Seawolves. The pain of today won't last forever, but the place in the history books will. Strap in, America. It's time to rock and roll. We're in the Rocky Mountains as Infinity Park plays host to the Major League Rugby Championship Series, live on CBS Sports. A very good afternoon. Welcome to Glendale, Colorado for the first of 2 fantastic games here this evening. Dan Powell with you alongside Brian Hightower and Pete Steinberg. And gentlemen, testament to the closeness of the season this year. It took until the final whistle in week 10 to decide our final bracket. It's 1 Glendale Raptors taking on 4 Utah, but first it's the number 2 side Seattle taking on the 3rd side San Diego. And Brian, San Diego, rightfully so, the hottest team in Major League Rugby right now.
Absolutely, Dan. And you look at the whole MLR, and the steepest trajectory of any team in the major leagues is San Diego. They've done the best out of the last 3 weeks, missing their international stars, and they won all 3 matches with a bunch of youngsters, fixed the problems in the scrum, and they've got a bunch of great backs who can be dangerous.
Control. Inching closer. They peel off. And there's your 3rd penalty try. The dominant to the scrum. Well, can we give the scrum the man of the match? Let's get
San Diego. Do they keep it tight? Do they try and rumble it in?
6 on the line.
You need to be so accurate up front. They've got it on the line. Yes, that could be a try. We are Legion. They've done it.
The only time that you can go through is if you come from your side.
So down to 6. Here they go. Flash off the line. San Diego over. They scored. The Legion. Second try of the game.
Well, credit must go to San Diego head coach Rob Holdy for that amazing turnaround since that week 1 humiliating loss, evidently against the side they face today, Pete Steinberg in the Seattle Seawolves.
That's right, and the Seattle Seawolves did start fast. They averaged 35 points through their first 5 games, but it's their last 3 games that they've really struggled to score. But they've been led by their Seawall defense. That gave them the win over Austin and Houston, but that Seawall was breached by Glendale in that final game, and the fast start all happened against this San Diego Legion team in week 1.
Great pass, Stoller. What a line, Brock Stoller. He will get the opening try here at Starfire, and the crowd, they absolutely love it.
Doesn't go out in a lovely right foot step from Tiberio. He has had a great game already. Still going. Gets his team all the way up now. They're within 5 meters of the line. Remember to see the try line is blue, and they're over the blue line. Seattle hit back. What a try.
Suction off the back. Spills it forward. And you just have to wonder if the conditions are affecting Phil Mack. Oh, too easy for the veteran Mack on the turnover ball.
The beast, the shell, up over the 5 meter line. Sampson, he has a crack, and he's got over. That's a try, the first try of the match.
Well, folks, this one has all the makings of a Game of the Year candidate.
The Major League Rugby Championship Series on CBS Sports Network is presented by Fidelity Investments. by the Special Olympics USA Games. We welcome more than 4,000 Special Olympics athletes and coaches from across the country to Seattle. Get your tickets online at risewithus2018.org. And by Virginia Mason, proud and exclusive medical care provider.
Gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble.
Welcome back to Infinity Park as this clash of the West Coast heavyweights is about to begin. And Brian, take a look at this sharp business system Legion lineup.
Yeah, lots of firepower out wide for the San Diego Legion. If I'm the coaching staff for the Legion, I'd be worried about numbers 1 through 5. If they can withhold in the scrum against Seattle, they'll be in good shape tonight. That's my first question mark.
And Pete, it's a strong Seawolves team as they look at their Virginia Mason lineup to cause the upset here tonight.
Absolutely. As Brian said, so much of this is about the scrum for Seattle. They had 3 penalty tries in their first matchup against San Diego, but Ricard Hadding returns at number 8, and with Will Holder, the active Army officer, away on Army exercises, Peter Smith steps in at fly half.
Our referee Derek Summers from the United States, assisted by Paul-Henri Corbier from France, Luke Rogan from Australia on the other touch judge, and for the first time in history, a final series of professional rugby kicks off in the United States as we await the whistle of Derek Summers. It's the Seawolves. They'll be running left to right in their green strip, kicking off to San Diego in the red and black. They will receive first. And we're underway. One of the most anticipated games of 2018. Nguyen, he fields it in his 22, and he is met by a ferocious defensive system from the Seawolves early on. Now Lambourne, what a pickup. Tony Lambourne from New Zealand has been for the Legion late in the season. He gets the second touch and the penalty early on. And Brian, just the start the Legion were looking for.
Exactly, and relying on the boot of Tig Leader, wearing the number 10 for the Legion, and they're going to call on him a lot tonight to work themselves into good territory and in that Seattle half.
And there you see the benefits of not only the altitude here at Infinity Park, a strong breeze blowing behind the Legion in the first half as well. And that man, Tig Leader, he will use that to his advantage for the opening 40. The contest at the set piece. First points go to the Legion on their own throw from Blair there. The maul is set on the 40-meter line of the Seawolves early on here. Strong push downfield by San Diego. And now Boyer. Really happy to see Boyer retain that number 9 jersey for the Legion. They've looked much better with him there. As Lambourne, charging run. Boyer to his left finds Leader. Outside, Peterson's first touch for the Legion is a good one as he's brought down just shy of the 22 by Stoller. San Diego playing with a very quick pace as Lambourne, third touch of the match already for him. Boyer again, Leader. Picks up his front rower in Sylvia. You heard Rob Hoadley last night talk about how impressed he's been with Sylvia. And Leader, a little bit of early nerves from the fly half as he puts that one down. No advantage, will come back for the penalty, Pete.
So the Sea War is really predicated on slowing the ball down, and they just weren't able to do it there. They've got to slow the ball down to break down.
And we'll welcome the third member of our side, Stacey Pates, down on the sideline. Stacey.
Well, the weather has actually been the story here in Glendale for the past week. They've had record highs, 105 degrees on one day. It's kind of spitting rain a little bit now, and the wind has fluctuated. Listen, I don't mind if it rains. I just hope the lightning stays away, guys.
Well,
Kiss of death.
The only thing we want lighting up our screens is Stacey Pates. Mother Nature can keep her kind away. There's an early opportunity here for the Legion to take 3 points. It won't be Tig Leader with the boot, it'll be Peterson.
Yeah, Peterson just come in for San Diego Legion to fill that fullback role after the injury to Connor Kearns last week. Pete, I like the tempo that San Diego played with early on. Their first real chance with the ball and a lot of impact.
Absolutely, they started off with their line-out drive, which was their strength, but they left Tony Lambourne out in the midfield looking for him to strike through the middle, and they really played some quick rugby there. A real warning to Seattle.
Peterson, first strike. It's a good one off the boot of the fullback. Right through the post. It's 3 points to 0 early on. The Legion, they have a slender lead.
Yeah, take a look there. Chris Cracknell, assistant coach for the San Diego Legion. He's happy with that. Bringing in Joe Peterson. They've been trying to get him in country. Had a little bit of a visa issue with him. And that's got to instill some trust in the players. 3 points off the boot straight away.
Well, talking to the fly half Tig Leader, Brian, he said he came in with no ego at all. It's what you want to hear when you bring these players in from other competitions around the world. Peterson, like you said, a cool hand early on, puts 3 on the board. Restart again in Nguyen. This time under pressure, spills that one forward. And the Seawolves with Tiberio outside the 22 will look to attack. Khalifi, big body in the number 1 jersey. Mac.
Check the number 7 for Seattle, please.
Now Duchel.
We have it down as Sherman.
Mac to his right, flat pass, finds Khalifi again. Another touch for the front rower. As Seattle just outside the 22, now Smith. Quick ball, finds Hutting. The former Blue Ball has been in and out of the squad, dealing with numerous injuries throughout the year. A welcome addition today for the semi-finals, and now a penalty and possibly an equaliser in front of the post, Pete.
So straight away, lots of Derek Summer putting his foot down. He's called one for not rolling away, one for the back foot. And penalties are going to be really important, especially if this weather does turn and there's some rain. And so the referee there is looking at the back foot, and he says San Diego, who had great line speed last time, did not get behind the back foot. And it was Tui Halamaka, I think, who didn't retreat. They had great line speed last week, but they can't give away easy penalties like that.
Yeah, a little aggressive there. You could see Phil Mack had his hackles up a little bit when Tui Halamaka came over the ruck there. To me, what sets up this three-pointer, though, Dan, is the chase from Cam Polson in the kickoff and hits Taku Nguenya, causes the ball to spill forward and possession to Seattle.
Now Smith to tie things up here. No mistakes. The kicker's perfect early on. 3 points apiece, all tied up between the Legion and the Seawolves.
The biggest change in momentum in a game is a kickoff, and we saw the very first kickoff gave away a penalty. Seattle did, that went all the way down their end, ended up with points. The second kickoff, they were able to turn the ball over. So these kickoffs are real momentum changers.
Everybody's been talking about San Diego Legion and their trajectory and how well they played in the last few weeks. Seattle's actually due. They've had a few rough weeks transitioning as Phil Mack was absent. He's back. I talked to him before the game, and he had that kind of eye of the tiger, Dan, and they're ready to go.
Ball comes down now, out wide there. It's like Polson. Now, Billy Dolatahu, the smiling assassin, his first touch, a positive one. Duchel, danger signs here for the Legion, it's the beast. He makes his way up to the 40-metre line before he's brought down. Counter up strong, what a turnover. Pat Blair there, and now they go quickly, Peterson.
Back.
Lambourne, can't handle
back again.
Back against Nguenya as well.
Keep playing.
Well, helter-skelter stuff there. The Legion with Dolan. What a campaign the number 5 for the Legion had for the USA Eagles this summer. Looking to carry that form here today. Leader, crossfield kick. Needs his ball to sit up. And it beats both wingers there in Augsburger and Stoller over the sideline. A line-out though, big gain in territory there, Pete.
That's right, and this game is about the tackle contest. So interesting to see the back row get over the board. Of course, Pat Blair, who's a hooker, but really a back row playing hooker, was able to get over the board and turn that over. And then Brian, it's tough for a wing when you look up and you see such a perfect kick go over your head.
Yeah, it couldn't have been executed any better by Ty Leader. And that type of pinpoint accuracy, he'll use that all night long if they give it to him.
Play on.
That ball spills back in the favour of the Seawolves as Stoller takes it out to his own 5-metre line. They want to pick up a little bit more real estate here if possible, the Seawolves. Mack off the back. He's fielded by Peterson just outside the 22 of the Seawolves. He counters. Peterson! Oh, Peterson! What an introduction to Major League Rugby. One to beat. He's over the line. There's the try. Welcome to America. Forget Eddie Murphy. It's John Peterson.
Wow.
Well, the Seattle seawall has been talked about, the stiffness in defense. That time, a couple of people had an opportunity to tackle Joe Peterson, and he just slices through him. What a great start for Joe Peterson. Just recently turned up in San Diego.
It was interesting because when the ball went in the air, you could see Nate Osberger and Peterson actually look at each other and say, who's going to get it? And a kick is only as good as the kick chase, and the kick chase was non-existent. And again, I think that comes all the way back to the disrupted line-out. They had a disrupted line-out, which meant they couldn't build the seawall, and Barkwell just didn't have enough. Smith didn't have enough. Man, he got a good hit there by Matt Turner. They played against each other back in South Africa, but wow, big start, showing some Super Rugby class in that try.
Sometimes at this kind of level, we talk about going out and looking for tackles. And that time, Phil Mack had an opportunity to tackle Joe Peterson, and he wasn't looking to make a tackle. He was looking to shepherd Peterson to somebody else. He's got to step up and make that.
All the points for the Legion belong to Joe Peterson, the fullback. 10 points to 3, 9.5 in the books here. What a start for the Legion.
He's just introduced himself to San Diego. Great story, Joe Peterson. Not only a rugby player, he thinks that people in the game of rugby should have pursuits outside of it. His is rhinoceros conservation, and he has his own non-profit set up to protect rhinos and elephants back in the Limpopo River on the Blue Canyon back in South Africa, giving back as well.
Well, he looked like a rhinoceros charging over that turner at the end there for that try, did Peterson. There's Boyer inside the 22, will box kick this.
Go back! That's good.
Doesn't get a whole lot on that ball as it sits up just inside the 40-meter line. It'll be a Seawolves line out.
So we've seen 2 not strong box kicks by the 9. They have good kicking 10s. They should be looking to move that ball to the middle of the field and let their 10 gain the territory. You don't want to have your 9 giving the ball, gaining 15 yards and giving the ball away. Too much of an attacking platform for Seattle.
Short line out here. Take a look at Vili Tolata'u and Eric Deschel in the midfield. Might be the strike runners, Pete.
Absolutely. That's where they want to get some go forward so they can create some space for their outside backs.
Come on. Thank you.
San Diego have noticed that, Brian. They've got leader defending at the scrum half position, and just like you call it, Deschel. And why wouldn't you use Deschel as a battering ram? And here comes another battering ram. Khalifi, he's taken down outside the 22 as Mack comes quickly to Smith. Great tackle from Saliba. He's going to need a massive game today, the youngster wearing the 12 jersey. And he owes his side a penalty as well. This is a great start. Very enthusiastic San Diego.
Great work by Nathan Sylvia there to get over the ball, create that turnover. I spoke to Rob Hoadley earlier this week, and he said the tackle contest has been really important for them on defense. And that means that when that tackle happens, you want to get over the ball and come from your side. You can see Nate Sylvia right there getting right over the ball, but he stays on his feet. He doesn't go over, and that's a great relieving, an opportunity to relieve pressure and set up another attacking platform.
A couple of California kids on this San Diego Legion lineup. Sylvia's one of them. Drew Gaffney also playing the number 8. And it's great to see both of these teams. Seattle has a bunch of Northwestern kids from the Seattle area. San Diego's got their share of Beach Boys on their team as well.
Blair finds Cam Dolan. Again, they look to maul this ball forward. Ball at the back now. Great maul here from the Legion as they take it inside the 40 now here up to Seawolves.
That's good. Let's use it. Let's use it. That's good.
Lambourne takes it away from his scrum half instead as he goes up towards the 22 now of Seattle. Boyer, little stagnant there. He picks up Short, another one of these great stories you talked about, Brian. Devon Short. Leader, flat pass, Mattias, big contact comes in. Smith brings down the 13. Now with Leader, once again, comes wide to Gaffney. Gaffney's performance over the last 4 weeks a testament as he keeps the 8 jersey, pushes Dolan into lock. Not a bad effort there from Gaffney. Now Tui Halamaka, Saliba, loops that one, Augsburger. Doesn't go to hand. A rough pass from the inside center. Opportunity goes begging.
Well, San Diego
Just a little bit. Yeah.
has been very good over the last few weeks. They got to step up in defense and match the seawall from Seattle. The kick chase, we've seen Tig Leader boot a few. He's been very good with his accuracy. And then scrum stability. We haven't seen a scrum yet, Pete. I'm anxious to see how they're going to endure the pressure from the front row from Seattle.
Let's go.
13 minutes and no scrums means it's a clean game by both teams. Oh, and we're about to see, you called it, Brian, we're about to see our first scrum.
Line out call, okay.
No,
interesting,
interesting call there.
Yeah, well, if you have Cam Dolan as a target, they've also used the number 4, Chris Terori, as well. He's good in the air. And you could see the decision there is like, oh, we're not sure we're ready to scrum yet. Let's stay with the thing we're good at, which is lineouts.
I mean, as a coach, I would actually choose the scrum initially. Let's find out what it is. But they say our lineout drive is so good. We've already driven them 50 or 60 yards this game. Let's go again. And there's Chris Diori again. They've got so many lineout options.
Well, it's almost like you two have already watched this game in advance. As the Legion maul this ball inside the 40. Seattle do a good job of stifling the forward momentum this time. And no surprise, Vili Tolitahu in amongst it. Lambourne, center field now for the Legion.
I missed it.
Leader wisely elects to play the territory game. It worked for them last time. Why not? Turner on his own 5. That's a good clearing kick there from the former England 7-star up towards the 40-meter line. A little bit of breathing room here.
You know, Mattias on the chase. That's how cool Matt Turner is, because it looked like he had run out of time.
So Seattle have shown already the ability, except for those first few minutes, to slow down the ball at the ruck and be able to play defense. They have to dominate the scrum. We haven't seen one yet, which is what San Diego want to see, is very few scrums. And they have to be able to play some territory, so they've got to get out of their half. So far, San Diego, with tag leader, pinpoint accuracy. When you make that kick, you either want to contest or you want to turn the receiving team and find grass. He's done that both times. It's really quick. It really means that San Diego are winning the territorial battle.
Okay.
And now Drew Gaffney
Tell me he's ready.
will take a quick break
Screens,
to get some
hold
blood
there,
cleaned up. There you see on the side of the eye. San Diego have some time to get him patched up and back onto the field. Great take
In
there
the
from
5,
Short.
you're good.
And again, the maul is set here for the Legion.
It's out.
Leader to his left. Lambourne can't handle. Rusalika puts pressure on now Mattias. This is where he excels, Ryan Mattias. Broken play, he gets through with a sniff, Mattias. Now brought down outside the 22. Short, another touch. Gets through that first line off the seawall. Now Nguyen. Peterson, quick hands. Augsburger one-on-one. Turner wraps up the left winger. Now Lambourne with another touch. Busy start for Tony Lambourne. We expect nothing less. Like a big diesel engine, he just goes all day. Little interchange down the blind side now for the Legion.
2 out!
Tui Halamaka. All at the back with Blair, patiently waiting for his opportunity. Again, slow ball here. This time with Sylvia. You can see Nick Boyer just marshalling his forwards, waiting for that opportunity to get quick ball.
Back up the hands.
Lambourne across field. Now Boyer in position. Leader plays out the back. Augsburger beats one. Jinx on the inside. Gets past Khalifi, still going. Great penetrating run there from the winger.
No, he doesn't have it. No, ball's up. We're going to have a scrum.
And unplayable will come back for a scrum. Pressure mounting on this seawall.
Almost 20 minutes gone, Pete Steinberg. The first scrum of the game about to happen on the 5-meter line of Seattle. Looked like the seawall had finally reformed, almost breached by a Nate Augsburger dart there, but they somehow withstood it.
Well, San Diego have some amazing runners with great feet, and you can see Augsburger right here, but the work rate that San Diego have, and it's the Tonataru, the recent Eagle, the work that he puts in the contest. He was the one that slowed that ball down. He's the one that formed the scrum. Now we're going to learn a lot about what the Sylvia and Tua Halamaka have learned before split back line, best attacking position on the field.
Bind.
Well, it's like Christmas early here as we get a look at the scrum. It was the story of their week 1 matchup.
No. We're going sideways initially. We're gonna do a redo.
Unsurprisingly,
Little introduction there from Olive Khalifa to Nathan Sylvia. Great battle up front. Watch Tim Metcher here across from number 1, Sione Tuihalamaka. He's grown so much as a prop over the last year.
Crouch.
That is Tui Halamark on the left of your screen there. You see a split attacking formation.
We're still up.
Nice, Johnny. Good fucking shit.
Reset.
Good profile, boy.
Well, it's almost anticlimactic, isn't it? They're just building and building.
All right.
So here in the scrum, they're really learning about each other, and I think, you know, the referee is the same referee that called the 3 penalty tries, Derek Summers, in the first game. As those, when you see those scrums go down, these are experienced props. They're bringing it down when they think something's going on.
And you can see the tight head for Seattle. Metcher trying to lead Tui Alamaka across the scrum.
Right.
All right. Not free kicking here. We'll give you one more. Let's relax. We'll reset it again.
So the referee is saying, hey,
Just hold the mark.
I'm going to call someone for something on the next one if it doesn't happen.
It doesn't even matter if it's the person who did something wrong.
That's right. I'm going to call something because we've got to get this game going. So no scrums in the first 17 minutes. 4 scrums in the last 2.
in the last 30 seconds.
Crouch.
Legion, set.
Bind. Set.
And Boyer, we have the ball in. Oh, the Seawolves! The Seawolves! They've turned up at Infinity Park and their fans have travelled as well. They're on their feet for that one.
So we knew that Gaffney was playing at 8 and he was playing well, but he does not have the experience of Cam
Yeah, do
Dolan.
it on the kick.
That ball was not won. That ball was won. So he needed to pick that ball up. He can't leave it there for 3 or 4 seconds.
Yes. We'll take water break.
And I agree with you, Pete. As far as the time that it took for that ball to be played, once it's there, especially with the pressure, they needed to get that ball out quickly.
And 20 minutes in the book. We'll take a short break as the players get rehydrated. It's a tight one here, 10 points to 3. Legion in the lead over the Seawolves.
Happy? Yeah.
He was at 8. Yeah.
Got it.
With the big slingshot forward. You see him?
Old school.
Yeah.
Look at the
Yeah.
78% territory.
Wow.
What's the possession?
68% possession.
Oof.
The fact it's only 10-3 is like...
And the wind, I'm shocked it's 10-3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love Barnum. Just tell me, he's calling it. The game just picked up. Welcome back from the short hydration break here. Both these sides look to get restarted. 10 points to 3. It's Legion in the lead over Seattle.
Pete, talk to me a little bit about the psychology here. If you're a team and you have that first scrum like Seattle did and you dominate San Diego, the psychological game now, where's the advantage?
Absolutely. I mean, for Seattle, they're like, we want more scrums. Let's scrum some more and really make San Diego work. So the great runners that they have, they'll get tired out in those scrums. For San Diego, it's like, strike the ball back, let's get it out of there. We can't play our plays. We just got to win the ball.
Yeah, and some fixes can be made for San Diego. It might be time to start thinking about just getting the ball into Channel 1 as quick as possible and getting it out. But now, suddenly, it's a throw, and the throw's gone awry.
No surprise, San Diego, they'll look for a lineup.
So, but this is the battle that's going on here. Seattle have the edge in the scrum, but San Diego have the edge in the lineout. That's the second not straight throw by the international hooker. It's got to be on the inside shoulder, and he threw it right to the outside. Really poor throw. So battles of set piece.
And Pat Blair says, this is how you do it.
Yeah, he hits the mark perfectly in Cam Dolan. And like clockwork, the Legion go back to the maul. Leader, runners inside and out, finds Lambourne. I hope Tony Lambourne's getting paid by the meter because he will get a pretty healthy check after this performance today.
Boy, leader's boot.
Wow, and yeah, that's just, I mean, he's got it, as we say, on a piece of string.
Just do it from the back end. You've done
And
that
what's
twice.
really interesting for Leader is he says, hey, Seattle can't win a line-out. If I kick it down there, we've got a 50-50 chance of winning it back. Even if I give up the ball, I'll be able to get it out. That's just a beautiful kick.
Yeah, especially if you have a guy wearing number 5 for San Diego at the front of this line out. Cam Dolan look for the steal here if they can get him in the air.
You're up.
Seattle secure. Mack runs upfield. They're going to attack from the shadows of their own goalpost with Rusalika. We haven't seen the big Fijian much today. Now take a look at him. Goes to Shell. He goes up outside the 22.
8.
Back to Smith. Big kick into the teeth of the wind here from Smith. Peterson wisely, very calm and calculated.
There's been work there.
Needs this ball to sit up. That one over the bank at the dead ball line.
Can't force it.
We will go
can't
all the
force
way
it.
back
No,
out.
you
Let's
can't
cross
force it
down to
anymore. It's a
Stacey
22.
Pates. An update on Drew Gaffney in the blood bin situation.
Well, you might remember just last week, that's when he suffered that injury. It was a cut above his eye. That happened against these Glendale Raptors last week in San Diego. He was our man of the match, and you might have remembered he had that eye taped up. He came out tonight with no tape on the eye. Unfortunately, got hit in the exact same spot, causing the blood again. They got him taped up, but I got to tell you, watching Drew getting ready to go back on the pitch, he was like a wild dog in a cage, just ready to get back out and battle.
Thank you, Stacey. Gaffney, he'll be back out there momentarily, you would think. It would take a lot more than a little cut above the eye to keep him out of this semi-final. Leader, Mattias. Peterson looks for the one arm around the corner offload.
It's out.
Boyer. Dolan, quick hands to Tui Halamaka. Back the blind side, Augsburger. Numbers here for the Legion. Offload Peterson. Smith gets up quickly, shuts it down. As they shift the ball right here inside the 22 now of the Seawolves. It's Tui Halamaka again. Leader finds Blair out the back. Saliba under pressure. Good hands. There's Gaffney back on the field. Doesn't look like he's got much tape on this time either, not heeding the advice of Stacey Pates. Saliba dispatches Smith to the ground here before he's finally tackled on the 22-meter line. Now Leader, flat pass, short, great tackle from Suniula though. Tui Halamaka. Legion doing well, recycling possession here. As Sylvia, there's Khalifi, not surprised to see Khalifi nearby when Sylvia touches the ball. Already some animosity between the two front rowers.
Advantage.
And there's the handling error.
Nothing
And
coming
Seattle,
there.
they'll get another chance to scrum.
So possession after possession by San Diego, but they're coming across the same problem that everyone has against the Seawolves, which is how do you actually create a line break? They were able to slow the ball down. Boyer was just a little bit too slow, and then their pressure that coming up, really the line speed, you can hear them. Get off the line, really putting pressure causes that handling error.
They moved Anthony Saliba from 13 to 12 out of necessity. One of the things that a successful 12-13 pairing does is start to change the angles. You run a few crash balls, you keep your opposition honest, and then it starts to open up things on the outside, but you got to have some runners coming back inside to freeze defenders. San Diego hasn't done that yet, and there's no space in that seawall.
Absolutely, and Saliba actually, when he lost it, that ball in, I think took a ding on his shoulder. And so I'm looking down, and they don't have a natural number 12 that can do what you're saying, Brian. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to rejig the back line if Saliba has to come out. I'm pretty certain he's not going to want to come out, but he wasn't looking good when he got up from that ball carry.
Interesting to see also Seattle's first time with the ball and the scrum.
Saliba's out.
Let's get him off.
Saliba's out.
Yeah, let's get him off. Yeah.
Well, I think we saw when Seattle were near their own line, when Phil Mack can get into the open field and the play breaks down and it becomes unstructured, they can really do stuff. The challenge that they have is in the structure, and Peter Smith is really they're really targeting him. He's putting in a lot of tackles, but now he's really got to clear the lines. San Diego, Brian, have 82% of the territory. 82%, that's phenomenal. The fact it's only 10-3 is really because the Seawolves is being held.
Interesting development here. So Dylan Audsley, who's played wing, fullback, and now center, he's a good one. Audsley's got great skills. Interesting development, though, to have him so early in the game in the center pairing now with Mattias.
Well, it's just gone flat.
Another scrum goes the way off the Seawolves here. Now Mack finds Smith inside Tiberia. Now Hutting with a touch. Polson also looking to get himself involved. Ball spills out. Khalifi, great pickup from the big man there, down at the bootlaces. There's Mack. He'll shift this ball to the right. And Brian, early on, you notice the difference between these two sides. Mack very calculated at the back of the breakdown. Boyer,
off your feet.
Very quick.
Elbows
yeah, both of them have tried to get quick ball off the back, and really credit any back row that can stop the ball from coming out quickly. That's what Phil Mack lives off of. If he can get quick ball from the base of the ruck, then he'll feed off of it.
So absolutely, and here's Lamborn trying to do exactly that, but the referee said you came in but you lost your feet, you didn't hold yourself up, and that's why he gave a penalty. Maybe a tough call on Lamborn.
Yeah, I think it was. I think he was in the right place, right time.
And they don't find touch. The Legion return fire, and now Mack, the huge up and under midfield. Boyer, he's up to the task though. He picks up his wing in Nguyen. We've seen this before, Tucker Nguyen with some space on that right wing. Flashbacks to 07. Now Sylvia. Boyer has leader to his left. Rifles the ball in that direction. Audsley, his first touch. Lamborn, that one. Very close to being forward.
That's a lot of forward. Doesn't have it.
Tui Halamaka now. Mecha slams his right shoulder into him. Now leader. So you want to add another number to that territory, Pete Steinberg. Turner though, what a take from the fullback as he flies high here at Infinity Park.
One of the knocks on Matt Turner was his ability under the high ball. I think he just answers the first question there.
Absolutely. Great up and under there by leader. Contestable. But still, here we go. In the open field, Seattle can play.
And Phil Mack almost snuck through there. Devon Short, a crucial tackle one-on-one. They've got numbers. Barkwell. Drawing pass, it's knocked down against Tui Halamaka. Will come back for the penalty. Now the question, was that intentional?
In the tackle, sorry, in the tackle.
Great use of the touch judge there by Derek Summers, where he said intentional knock on, so you cannot knock the ball on purpose. You have to be in the tackle moment, and you'll see Peterson coming in. He comes in trying to make the tackle. He was trying to wrap, and that ball hit his hand, and the touch judge got it.
I tell you what, we've seen that called in both ways. I've seen yellow cards for less than that, but you know, it's that's the kind of thing you want to make sure you're 100% right if you're going to start award penalties or yellow cards for intentional knock-ons. And I think sometimes you err on the side of caution, and that's what's happened.
There's a player in front that played the ball.
Weekdays at noon Eastern, Jim Rohn welcomes you to the jungle for 3 hours of hot takes, high-impact interviews, and a steady dose of the close. It's the Jim Rohn Show.
Check it, okay? Penalty, yes. Go back there. Say that again, Davey.
And it looks like the call may have been changed here as San Diego moving back 10 meters.
Davey, if you're telling me he's offside, let's just go with it because they're not getting the screen up.
So here it is.
Okay,
Brian, talk us through it.
Here it comes.
Well, you can see Barkwell here just hesitates a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
As Peterson comes up to make that tackle, and it looked like a discussion earlier between Derek Summers and assistant referee.
There's a knock-on offside.
So knock-on from Peterson, and then it was played by a San Diego player, so it wasn't just the knock-on, whether it was intentional or not. It was about somebody playing the ball after the knock-on.
And we have a TMO who is here to help the referee make those close calls, and you can hear him talk. He'll try and get up on the Jumbotron, trying to make get the correct call every time. And Seattle may touch this time. Great attacking platform, but they have to win their line out.
Yeah, for those of you new to the game, TMO, television match official, kind of like the VAR if you're watching the Soccer World Cup right now. It's a way for the replay to actually have an impact on the game.
Off the back of the line out, the Seawolves go quickly. Barkwell. Wouldn't he love a try from 22 out? Sorry. Now Khalifi. Good run forward from Khalifi. They come back down the blind side. Hutting, Ricard Hutting reaches for the line and spills it forward. Oh, an opportunity goes begging there for the Seawolves. Hutting inches away.
Lost forward.
Still a scrum. Still a scrum for Seattle, though, so they're not going to be too unhappy.
Well, and one Chris Terori hand away from a try here. Look at him come in, wrap it up, right there, punches it forward.
Wow, well, and one of the really interesting things there was that San Diego decided not to contest the line out, which gave Seattle the platform that allowed them to come back to the blind side, and that's what gave them near. If I'm the San Diego coach, get up every time. They can't. Barkwell has not shown the ability to throw straight under pressure. Don't give him the free line out.
Swap the ball here.
Yeah, if I'm the San Diego coach, I'm also wondering how this scrum is going to go here. Might be a little bit of sweat under the armpits time for Rob Hoadley.
Well, with Gaffney back in, he's got to pick it up, get it to the base, and just get over go forward, win the ball, and get into their pattern. Do not try and play anything fancy from here.
Well, you've got to think, Brian, mentally too. What are the San Diego Legion forward thinking? Dominated twice already in the scrum.
This is lockout territory. Just lock it out, get the ball back, but it looks like another good drive by Seattle. Scrum starts to move a little bit. That's what the referee's saying there. He's asking for both front rows to push straight. Sometimes the forces that are inside those 16 bodies don't allow for that straight push.
Well, Rob Hoadler talked about how he really wanted to let Tui Halamaka and Nathan Silva be able to hold up, but Khalifi right there is just destroying Nathan Silva, and he's just really struggled. Really big struggle there for him as the game goes on.
Yeah, trouble spot here for San Diego. Keep your eyes on number 3, the tight head prop, Tim Metcher.
That's one way to avoid the scrum.
Wow.
Sometimes a little overeager, and the referee says Olive Khalifi came in a little bit too soon. Got to wait for the engagement sequence. So that is a get-out-of-jail-free card for San Diego.
When you have that scrum, they have to come together at the same time. If you come together early, if you come together early, you end up getting an advantage. So the referee said, hey, you tried to beat the call, come together a little bit early. And so you'll see the referee's making the call, and you'll just see Khalife on that left-hand side just go forward a little early, right in front of the referee. Experienced prop. He doesn't need to do that with the matchup that he has.
A lot of props missed the old days when the hit was everything.
Well taken at the back there by Hutting. Now Smith, midfield, Suniula.
No, they had support though.
Scanning, finds Hutting. Big hole for Ricard Hutting. Here goes the blue ball. Can he be denied again? Yes. It's a try saver out there from the Legion. Now Mack flicks that ball loose with Paulson.
Manager offside as well.
Advantage coming the way of the Seawolves.
Suniula dances. Suniula breaks one. A second under the post. The Seawolves, they'll tie it up after the kick. What a hit back for Seattle.
Wow.
There were some questions, Pete, about the health of Ricard Hutting. Yep. We just got the answer to that questionnaire. He is good to go.
But it's Phil Mack in the open field, able to just hold on to the ball, just delay it just a little bit, create that space, and he just opened it, comes through. So this is Suniula just taking the break. Beautiful footwork, be able to go over. So good. The spin move, not something you see that often because you wrap up in rugby, but he used it to great effect.
Great first break there by the number 8, Hatting, and then the finish by Suniula. Really nothing to lose by trying to get to the line, playing a double penalty advantage for Seattle.
And they really missed Shalom Suniolu while he was away. That was one of the reasons why their points went down. He's such a key person. He's such a great ball player at 12. He lets them play with width, and right there showed his ability to run.
There we see the Seawolves bench itching to get involved in this one. 10 points apiece after 34 minutes here at Infinity Park. There's the big man, Eric Duchel, and over his shoulder, the youngster, the next generation, Vili Dolitau, looking to get this game done for the Seawolves. They kick it deep. Hatting. Hatting again, what a game he's having. There's Tolitahu. He can't handle. We'll have 2 knock-ons and we'll scrum it down just inside the Seawolves half. But any questions you had about Ricard Hatting not getting some game time, I think he's answered it early on.
Well, I tell you, the new question I have is, can this San Diego defense stiffen up? They were great last week, Pete. You were there to see their performance on the field. Nobody wants to tackle Ricard Hatting.
So right between Pat Blair and Drew Gaffney, real, like 2 good tacklers, just let him go right through.
This could be a huge turn of events. Tony Lamborn taking a seat on the bench. Alec Barton in for the Legion on the side there, wearing the number 20.
And again, the push, under pressure, Seattle.
Oh my. Trouble time here for the Legion.
And gentlemen, I just want to make a point. The last scrum down this end, Tui Halamaka got in Tim Metch's face when they got that free kick and had plenty to say. Tim Metch said, settle down, son, it's not over yet. And there you see the results of talking a little bit of trash.
Look at the look on Ray Barkwill's face. That is the cat and the canary right there. He knows what he's doing.
This is just an 8-man shove, just overpowering it, doing things that the other team can't do. The Argentinians say the soul of a rugby team lives in a scrum, and Seattle stole the soul of San Diego in week 1, and they're on their way to stealing it here in the playoffs.
A lot of rugby left to play. And look at the score, 10-10 from the last. The ascendancy has to go to the play some fixes perhaps in the scrum for the men wearing red and black right now.
There's Polson at the top. They find him now wide. Rusalika. Around they come. Dolitau. Fresh off his debut cap for the USA. Now Mac goes for a sniping run. The offload to his Canadian teammate Barkwell doesn't go to hand. Pat Blair, right place, right time for the Legion.
Desperation from Blair, had to have it right there. Would have been another try in the hands of Barkwell.
Leader from his dead ball line. Not able to clear out of his 22, the line out for the Seawolves here.
And Pete, if I'm Seattle right now, I push the pace.
If you turn it over, I'm going to free kick you.
While you have Seattle under the gun here, you push the pace.
That's right, and they did right there. There was a clear out by 2 San Diego forwards. They went over. Phil Mack saw the space, and it was only the great cover by Pat Blair to get there. And I think you're right, you push the pace. But here, they're going to drive it in, and they're going to say, hey, we can drive it too.
They find Ricard Hatting at the top. Not surprisingly, they use them all. That one turned over, though, by Dolan. As he clears the ball down to Peter Tiberio here. The left winger for the Seawolves, Turner. Goes high. Tiberio on the chase. Oh, big collision on Blair. Winger on hooker. He won't live that one down, Pat Blair. And now to Guenya. They've got some space and numbers here, the Legion. Peterson, drawing pass, Augsburger. He kicks that one out on the full, will come all the way back and really feel like he let the Seawolves off the hook there with kicking that ball.
And Pete, with as much ball as Seattle's had, San Diego finally gets it, really squanders it there. Bad decision there by Augsburger.
Okay.
Absolutely, I think maybe even a little bit of panic, right? So they were dominant in the first 30 minutes, but Seattle have been able to use the scrum to turn around that momentum. They've got to hold on to the ball, and they've got to be able to play territory. Augsburger's decision now gives Seattle a great attacking platform inside their half.
Barkwall over the top. Now Rusalika. He's well contained. They come back down the blind side again. At the back door, Turner, trouble here. Turner slices through, comes back towards his support installer. Now Barkwall. How often has Ray Barkwall popped up at the last second already in the first half?
Backwards.
And now, slow ball could be turned over here. It is for the Legion. Blair picks up short under pressure. That's Barton, the replacement for Lambourne, wearing the number 20.
Use it.
Now leader will clear. Well, Pete, you talked about territory. How are the numbers looking now after this last 10 minutes?
Well, the territory numbers are way down. It was 82% after about 26 minutes for San Diego, and now it's only 66%. And I think in the last 10, it's been all Seattle. So big change in momentum, and it's really the pressure that San Diego are feeling that's causing the problem.
Well, guys, we might look back at this last few minutes and see the 2 times that Seattle's had the ball inside of the San Diego 10-meter and not being able to come away with points. That's huge for San Diego. If they can get into the halftime break without giving up any more points, they'll be able to make some fixes.
Rusalika charging onto the ball here. Now Suniula, the try scorer, goes wide. Tiberio matching up out there on that far wing against Taku Nguenya. Talifi, he's taken just outside the 22 now.
Oh, great counter up by Devin Short.
And it's turned over. Barton with the ball. Now the offload. Blair, open space for the hooker. Needs some support. Boyer comes up at his right. He runs away from his scrum half.
Neither one of you did, so play on.
And wouldn't this change the complexity of the match if San Diego can strike here before the break? Dolan, the big man, he knows his way to the try line. Leader. And Phil Mack, well, down in his 22, he's happy to take that to the halftime break, all locked up at 10 points apiece. An enthralling opening 40, gentlemen.
Pass to Shalom. Talk to Shalom.
So it's going to be really interesting. What a great half. The first 30 minutes was all San Diego. They dominated the game. But the last 10, behind the strength of their scrum, Seattle were able to turn around that momentum and pull it back. What a great second half this is going to be.
It certainly is. Let's go down and see some of those adjustments. Stacey Pates, Rob Hoadley.
Coach Rob Hoadley, talk to us about what you're going to say at halftime.
Well, the first thing is the tackling. It's non-existent at the moment, so we're going to have to sort that out. I thought we did really well field position-wise in the first 20, and just a few penalties and missed tackles that cost us the field position in the second 20.
What's missing without Saliber?
Listen, I don't think we lose a lot. Salibar's been great for us throughout the season. We're very, very confident. We've got Dylan Horsley coming back from the Eagles camp. We're very, very happy with our bench.
Coach, see you in the second half.
Great. Cheers, Stacey. See ya.
Thank you.
Yeah, wise words there from Hoadley. Thank you, Stacey Pates. It's 40 minutes gone here at Infinity Park, all locked up at 10 points apiece. Legion, Seawolves, we'll have your highlights right after the break.
Hey, Brown. Okay, thank you. Thank you. in, joining us from the Seattle Seawolves bench, and talk to us about what you all need to do in the last 20 minutes.
Just got to get it together. I mean, we're just making simple mistakes around the breakdowns. I think, you know, the guys just need to communicate a little better. I think the wind's been taken out of us a little bit. A couple of guys have not been playing as much recently, but I think they'll get their heads back in the game in the second half. We're starting to take control in the scrums, and the line-outs are coming together. I think it's going to be a good last 40 minutes, and we're hoping to take it, and I think we've got the right things to do it. So,
Coach, thank you so much for your time.
No worries. Thank you. Cheers. See you.
We coming back with highlights.
No, you're good.
Highlights in segment 2.
Good so far. Yeah, good so far.
No, I've got tons of them. I moved your bag over here because I kept kicking it. No worries. Welcome back to Infinity Park. A halftime break here, all locked up at 10 points apiece between the Seattle Seawolves and San Diego Legion. One of the stars of the first half was Canadian scrum half for Seattle, Phil Mack. Let's take a closer look at the feisty little number 9.
My name is Phil Mack. I play for the Seattle Seawolves. My role is player coach. I'm not too sure where the time has gone, but my international career started in 2006 with the Canadian Sevens team. I was fortunate enough to travel the world and play the sport that I love. And from that, I transitioned into the 15s team and had the opportunity to represent Canada a number of occasions. And then obviously the older you get in your career, you try and start branching out and looking at other options. So when I heard the MLR was around the corner, you know, it was something I was really excited about. And I'm just really happy to be involved year one. Rugby is a game of crash and collision at very high speed, so what you can expect to see is the tackle intensity you'll find in football, but some of the elegance you'll see in soccer. But that being said, after the match is done, you'll see a lot of mutual respect between the teams, which is a big reason that I really enjoy the sport. You don't yell at the referee, you shake the opponent's hand after it's done, and you share a meal after, so as much as you go at each other on the field, it's all settled on it, and once it's done, it's very much a brotherhood. The Seattle fans have been awesome, super enthusiastic, very loud. A number of them just keep saying, you know, I've never been to a rugby game. That was my first time. I'm definitely coming back. And I think that's what it needs. I think people just need to be exposed to rugby, exposed to how awesome and how beautiful the game can be, and it'll just keep coming back. I think I'm the type of player that just tries to be the hardest working guy on the field, and you always have to set an example, especially in a scrum half role. You want to be the guy that's pushing the pace or knowing when to slow it down. There's advantages and disadvantages to being the player coach. The role came about just through circumstance. I guess there were some issues with the visas. We just had to react to that, and I just had to take on a bit of a bigger role. we're in a pretty unique position where I get to be on the field and we get to have conversations in the middle of the action. So to that extent, I think it's an advantage to us, but you have to set the standard and you can't cut corners. As soon as you start doing that, you'll get found out and the team will stop listening. So as long as you stay on top of what you need to do and really set the standard for the team, I think you can have a positive impact. It's been enjoyable, it's been challenging at times, but I'm fortunate enough to have a great group of guys, and it's been a pretty cool ride so far.
One of the true legends of the game, Phil Mack. We're going to take a short break. It's locked up 10 points apiece here. When we return, we'll look at the highlights from the first half. It's Legion Seawolves coming up after this.
Advantage, tackler. Yeah. Advantage for offside as well. And the kick there. And welcome back to Infinity Park. Game one of the doubleheader for the Championship Series. It's halftime here. 40 minutes gone, locked up at 10 apiece. And Brian, it was San Diego who got out of the gates first.
Yeah, controlled the first 20 minutes, Dan, I thought, and had a few opportunities inside the Seattle 22. Came away with one kick from Joe Peterson and then finds a little space. Nobody wants to put Peterson on the ground, and he makes him pay by putting 5 points over the line, and he'll convert his own. So 10 points from the work of Joe Peterson. But Pete, Seattle not done.
They really did. They came back, and despite huge pressure at the tackle contest by San Diego, they were able to get the ball out, and a little bit of footwork and magic, a show and go by Shalom Suniola, the former US 7s and 15 star. And they came back and made it 10-10.
Had a couple of penalties in that locked us up. This one,
tighter than Bigfoot's shoe as both these sides look to book their ticket through to the championship game next weekend. When we return from the break, it will be the second half kickoff here. Only one team can go through to San Diego. Will it be the Legion? Or will Seattle come home at the end? Find out after this. Halftime break has come to a conclusion. We're going to go down onto the field now with Stacey Pates, who's joined by the Seattle Seawolves and Kevin Flynn.
Bench and talk to us about what you all need to do in the last 20 minutes.
Just got to get it together. I mean, we're just making simple mistakes around the breakdowns. I think, you know, the guys just need to communicate a little better. I think the wind's been taken out of us a little bit. A couple of guys have not been playing as much recently, but I think they'll get their heads back in the game in the second half. We're starting to take control in the scrums, and the lineouts are coming together. I think it's going to be a good last 40 minutes, and we're hoping we can take it, and I think we've got the right things to do it. So,
Coach, thank you so much for your time.
No worries. Thank you. Cheers. See you.
And we are moments away from the second half kickoff for one of these sides, gentlemen. The final 40 minutes of their season. The other, they will have 80 to play for a championship. It'll be Tyke Leader who gets us underway here, the Legion. Kicking off, the Seawolves under pressure, a lot of pressure. Not the start they would have been looking for there as Tolitahu is forced back into his 22 to recover that ball. Deshelle. There's some numbers here. They'll go back to Smith, though. There's He clears from his in goals, finds Peterson. Peterson wisely elects to hold on here.
For me, you could tell one of the messages in that halftime huddle was when Rob Hoadley talked about tackling, you could see the way Nathan Sylvia made that first tackle for San Diego that maybe they've turned it up a notch.
They missed 11 tackles in the first half, which is a lot. They've got to tighten that up. They've given Seattle too much easy go forward, but they've got a great attacking platform here, and their line-out has been working all day.
It has, and they find Tarori on this one.
Early substitution here for San Diego. Pat O'Toole at hooker now for the Legion.
There is Gaffney. O'Toole, the Irishman, also joining the Legion late in the season. His first game here today is Dolan. Heads out wide. Now Tarori again. A real tradesman-like season for Tarori. I've been impressed with the efforts he puts in, week out, a full 80-minute player.
Yeah, normally wears that number 6 jersey, and today is asked to play lock, and a lot of that has to do with some of the injuries to the Legion. Some guys moving around in different positions. Another ball squandered there from the Legion. You can't be happy about that.
Absolutely. I mean, you want to come out, and that's Mattias, one of the most experienced players. It was a little messy. When it's a little messy, just go forward, retain the ball, and get back into your pattern.
The Seawolves tap that one down from the top. Now Suniula inside Tiberio. It opens up for Tiberio. He jinks his way down the field now. Picks up support in Tolutau. As he's taken down, Mac. The blind side is opening for him. Now Stoller for a run. The wingers getting it done here for the Seawolves early in the second half.
Counter ruck.
And probably for the third or fourth time today, gentlemen, the counter ruck from San Diego takes the wind out of Seattle's sails.
Yeah, and the first time you could say that maybe they were asleep, Seattle. The second time, you just got to say, wake up and throw another man into the breakdown. Not good enough. If you're Seattle, you've worked so hard to get there, you got to keep the ball.
That's a better box kick from Boyer too.
Is it on the plane or did he take it?
Pete, that set piece move there, out the back to Suniula, and then the trailing blindside winger in the form of Tiberio. I think they even caught the open side winger asleep. Brock Stoller not there to support Tiberio.
Absolutely, but that was attacking, really smart move. It was attacking Audsley, who's out of position, playing 12, and it's actually the defense that can be really difficult getting that 12-13 combination, and they went right through Audsley.
Well, there you go, a steal from the Seawolves. It's brought back though.
Numbers in the line-out. So in a line-out, you are not allowed to have more than the team that's throwing in. Really, really rare at this high level for people not to be able to count the right numbers.
Yeah.
There were 4 for San Diego and 5 for Seattle.
Yeah, and it's the team that has the ball that gets to decide how many players are in the line-out. And you're right, Pete, Seattle just doesn't count too many guys. Oh, great take by Nguenya.
Taku Nguenya. 100 miles an hour, everything he does. And the kick chase there from the veteran winger, on point. Now Sylvia. That one could have snuck up just a little high. They go quickly, Boyer down the blind side, jinking run, picks up Mattias, Tarori. Tolutahu brings him down, 10 meters from the line here, San Diego. An opportunity as Tui Halamaka, he spills that one forward. And now that opportunity goes begging both sides early on, wasting opportunities in the 22.
Guys, I was just thinking that they have to come away with points from being this close to the Seattle line. And just as I was thinking that, the hit by Metcher and the ball gets coughed up. And that's Tui Halamaka has to do a much better job of protecting the ball in contact. He's running too high.
It's absolutely. In contact, it's a battle of the shoulders, and if you get low, you protect the ball. And I think that it was interesting to see San Diego pick up the pace. Remember that Seattle, 2 weeks ago, were here. They had a great first half. In the second half, they fell off. Maybe San Diego feel like they've got some advantage if they can really run Seattle off the pitch.
That's a more solid platform from the Legion. There's the Seawolves.
No hook.
Wow. Well, we saw the dominance of Seattle in the first half in the scrum. San Diego since there was no hook by the Seattle hooker, which now is, you have to do it. Before this year, they would allow you to kind of drift that ball in. The hooker didn't necessarily have to tap it back.
And here they go quick again, looking to push the pace.
And it is Dolan who taps that ball quickly.
3, yeah, good.
They had success keeping it tight in the first half. Leader, the fly half, he's stacked off to the left. Now he loops around to the right. He brings Audsley with him. Slow ball again here for the Legion. They are just meters from the line.
He's good.
Seattle's defense stays up, they're over. There's bodies underneath there, though, it'll be held up. We come back to the scrum. Maybe some complacency at that last scrum from Seattle.
I think it's Pat O'Toole, the experienced Irish hooker. He comes in. You can use your shoulders as a hooker in the scrum to put the pressure on the opposition. And right here, I don't know if San Diego are that happy at being able to get the ball over the line, but not being able to get it down. I think that was Cam Dolan trying to do what he did for the US against Canada last week and take it over. It's only a meter, but it is the hardest meter, Brian, to get over on the rugby pitch.
And I think maybe Cam Dolan trying to bite off a little more than he could chew that time, a little, once again, too high, trying to cross that line, maybe set up another phase, have somebody do a pick and jam across the line. That's a regrettable place to be and not come away with points, and especially if Seattle's scrum wakes up and that last scrum that they lost the ball, that might have been the wake-up call they needed.
And some changes coming in for the Seawolves. Staller goes to the bench, as does Khalifi. Burkholm steps in, Gordon into the front row.
Well, so Khalifi's had a great game so far, so it'll be interesting to see what the difference makes in this scrum. The bench is really going to win the game here.
Still some dominance there for Seawolves. And they get the penalty as well. Business as usual.
Referee said as they were going backwards, they collapsed the scrum. Gaffney was not able to get the ball out quickly enough, and a big let off there.
Then you mentioned it in the first half. San Diego slow to get the ball back when they had an opportunity. The scrum is on roller skates right now. You got to do whatever you can to get the ball at the back, and they just haven't done enough. And I think, like we said, that scrum from Seattle has woken up. And watch this scrum and San Diego going backwards. You can see Kellen Gordon all the way across the face of his opposite number there.
5. Get with it. Gap. 7.
Important line out here for Seattle. They've struggled in the line outs.
And that struggle continues, Pete, as it's stolen. Now with O'Toole. Comes across with Short. Boyer finds his fly half in leader. Quick hands, Mattias out to Nguyen. One-on-one, Tiberio up to the task. The ball spills over the sideline. It'll be interesting to see which way this goes.
Knock on. Okay. Scrum.
Was it knocked into touch? We'll take the line out of so.
Was that into touch, Polo?
Was it knocked into touch?
Not into touch. Scrum.
So two wonderful things about rugby. One is the communication between the referee and the touch judge, and then also between the captain, in this case Cam Dolan, and the referee to say, hey, look, did it go out? Because you get the choice. Cam Dolan was like, we don't want a scrum, so if we get the line out, we'll take it. Didn't go into touch, according to the assistant referee.
We'll see if the San Diego scrum learned anything from that last put in.
Lots of space for them to attack, but right now I think they're just going to, if they can, they'll get it to Nguyen, and they'll just let him go and set the platform.
Now we're going to go again.
Sylvia's being turned all the way in by Gordon, and I think the referee's going to come to this side because you have to stay square. And so I think he's going to actually look at Gordon and say, Gordon, you're going to have to stay square. He's turning in, he's turning the tight head in. It'll be interesting to see. I would come to that side if I was Derek Summer.
There's a couple times throughout this game, and it's happened already in this second half, people getting in the face of Nathan Sylvia. He's young, he's a good prop, he's got a lot of potential, but sometimes when someone gets in your head, then it can affect your performance. We'll see if Sylvia can withstand the psychological pressure from Seattle.
And there you see Gordon again coming across the face. Good stuff from San Diego, though. They get the ball out quickly. As Boyer, he runs into it. Dolita, who's special there. But now Barton, off the back, goes for a little run. Gaffney follows suit. They come down the blind side. Boyer picks up Nguyen. Mismatch here with a few forwards. Tiberio does well to bring Nguyen down. That's been a good battle out here on the right-hand side.
That is a great ball by Phil Mack. Over the top, on his feet, grabs the ball. Great position, and gets the poach from Nguyen. Nguyen, it was almost like he asked for that. He went alone. He decided to try to barnstorm over Tiberio, and he put himself on an island.
Absolutely, and I think what you'll see here is Nguyen, when he hits, though, he does all the work on the ground that you want, but the support is just too slow. I think that's Barton going across, and you're absolutely right. Great play by Phil Mack to get over. But the line out for Seattle is what has kept them in their half so far. They've got the little bit of the win that we have, but they haven't been able to win the line out cleanly. Again, an important line out for them to get out of their half.
Barkwall, better this time as Hutting gets the grab. And it was interesting to hear assistant coach Flynn mention the conditioning of the players who haven't played a lot. Hutting, one of them, but Rusalika, open pastures. Long floating pass, Burke Coombs, he can't pull that one in. And another opportunity goes begging here.
And that's right through the inside center spot where Audsley is really struggling to bring that defense and that physicality.
Well, the break here, and Rusalika looking to go all the way over the top to Burke Combs. Actually had a guy on the inside, but wasn't really tuned in to that option.
Okay, come in, you make the mark.
Last scrum was solid. Last scrum was solid.
There you go.
And so here we go. You can just see, look at Audsley go right out, and he has to stay square. You don't lean out, and that inexperience at playing 12 is being a real problem for San Diego on their defense.
Bind.
Reset. That scrum straight down, they'll reset.
Anything on that?
Gaffney tried to get it out quicker before the referee blew the whistle. When the scrums goes down, the referee can let the play continue if the ball's available. He didn't see it. You can see Gaffney flick it out. They need to get it just a little bit quicker.
So Summers has actively now engaged his assistant referee, looking for anything that he can pick up that's going to ruin this scrum on the touchline side, and Summers will take a look here on the open side.
It's going sideways again.
Now the free kick for San Diego as Boyer goes quickly. Dribbles that one down the middle of the field, sits up. Oh, big collision comes in there. And it will be a penalty for the Seawolves. It looks like he played the player before he had the ball. It was very close from Boyer.
Well, that's a really tough play. I actually think the referee said after he had the ball, but I'm not sure what he's supposed to do. I don't know that. I think the kick was a good idea, Brian. I think you had the ball, and you can see he just comes up in the air, I guess. I guess in the air is what he called.
Yeah, and you could hear, and what you don't want is for the referee to be influenced by players on the field. You can hear the shout, "Sir," which is the plead for like the penalty to be called. It shouldn't have been called. It was a great play. It shouldn't have been penalized.
And in all those free kicks, they will be going quickly because they don't want to scrum.
Paulson fields that line out. Sunula, flat, Rusalika. And Pete, you've mentioned it. They're really targeting that channel with Audsley now. Cutting. Turner, one-on-one, Mattias, well contained. Now Barkwell. Smith off to the right, takes it to the line before finding Suniula. Good low grassing tackle there from Dolan, brings down Rusalika. Now Duchel.
Off his feet.
Counter ruck, not clean. Mack goes quickly. Was looking for Rusalika. Good defense out there from the Legion.
It's a rock.
Pins the ball against the scrum half's
sweet.
body, unable to get the offload. Now the big man in Paulson again.
Leave him, yeah.
Smith, Barkwell. Barkwell almost with the offload as Mack finds Smith again. That one straight into Guenya. You could see he's a little hesitant at the line there, Smith, to throw that pass. And Boyer, that's a better kick. Open fields, Peterson on the chase, Suniula. One-on-one, well tackled there by the fullback for the Legion.
Well, Peterson did all the work. He just gets a little bit high on that counter. If he would have gotten under Peter Smith, would have been a different story. Seattle maintains control.
No surprise, they slow this down. Smith won't find the line. Right down the middle of the field, Boyer at fullback. Weighs up his options, finds the fresh legs in Augsburger. And he jinks his way upfield. I was just about to say, we haven't called his name much today. Augsburger now, he gets a good touch up the middle as he links with Audsley. Leader. Options inside out, finds Gaffney. Oh, it's a huge hole for Gaffney. And he walks through under the post. What a try for the Legion.
So that was all created by Nate Augsburger, and looking up and seeing a mismatch. He saw Duchel and I think he saw Gordon right in front of him, and he said, here are some forwards. I'm going to use my footwork. I'm going to get through. Great support by Audsley. Moved the ball quickly, and actually Leader was going to go outside, Brian, before he saw Gaffney inside for the walk-in.
Indeed, and take another look here. Boyer, and you're right, Leader looking outside and back inside, but the drift defense by Seattle. That vaunted defense that we've talked about throughout the year, and it's not there when it needs to be. They got to communicate more. They got to work harder. You can see some guys already, Pete, starting to put their hands on their knees, guys kneeling on the ground, not getting up and resetting on defense. These young players from San Diego will exploit that, and I was thinking earlier, if they can stick around without getting hurt too bad in the scrum, it bodes well for the Legion.
Absolutely, and I think that we saw this 2 weeks ago with Seattle. They really struggled to generate offense in the second half, and right now they're really struggling to get out of their half. They have not been, when was the last time they were down in the San Diego 22? It's been quite a while, and so that pressure is eventually going to tell. 7 points up though, San Diego aren't going to feel happy until they've got at least another try.
And that conversion was successful, 17 points to 10. 57 minutes gone here in this first of two semi-finals on CBS Sports. The winners meet next week in San Diego for the championship game. Oh, big hit from Tiberio. It's been called as high.
Slipped up.
A little too high.
Just a penalty.
Two old friends right there. Tiberio, what a great kick chase. He is so good on the restarts. And watch him here. And the hit, and it goes just a little bit north of where the ref was comfortable with.
So the referee said he slid up. I don't know if he slid up. He's lucky that wasn't a yellow.
Let's go down to Stacey Pates with an update on the sideline.
Well, Dan, you mentioned you haven't mentioned San Diego's Nate Augsburger's name very much. Well, he didn't even physically see that last try that he helped create because he was on the MLR logo on his knees, face to the ground. He was in a lot of pain. They did send attention out to see him really quickly. He walked it off. He looked a little gingerly for a few steps, but he's going to push through, especially this game.
Thank you, Stacey. That would be a big loss. They're already short on outside backs with Salabar going down early in the first half.
Just to remind the viewers what's at stake here is if San Diego can hold on, they will actually be in the final on home soil next weekend in San Diego.
Well, Brian, you talk about the famous Super Bowl curse. No team has hosted the Super Bowl in NFL history. Well, the MLR, we can abolish that year one if San Diego can get home here.
Hold here, hold here, hold here. Sorry.
Boyer. And this is what's worked for San Diego, playing the territory game. Tiberio, as Nguyen look to return the favour. Now Tiberio in some open space. He's brought down just outside his own 40 here. The Seawolves through Smith now, shifting it wide with Suniula. Rusalika. Here goes Turner. Beautiful grassing tackle from Mattias. Mack. Smith back to the middle. Crumry.
Get out, get out.
Good chopping tackle there from Pifoletti.
Come around and then you're taking the 9.
Phil Mack's tired of being the 9 that's being taken out.
Take water break and we have the injury.
So the kick chase by, so right here we've got just coming around, Alec Barton came from the side. You've got to come from your own side.
And we'll take a short break as the second half continues here. It's a San Diego Legion in the lead, 17 points to 10 over the Seattle Seawolves.
San Diego penalties, 5 Seattle penalties. They've given away 10. They've conceded 10.
Doesn't seem like that much.
Well, from the scrums, they've had a couple from the scrums.
Yeah.
They've had a few from the breakdowns. Yeah. But it's what Rob Hoagley said at half time. We've got to improve our tackling. They have. They've only they've missed 3 tackles this half. Okay, but they've given away another 5 penalties. They had 5 in the first half, and 5 so far in the second. Man, Mattias' tackle out there. I mean, that's why having a wing play 13 and you're going to drift, Matt Turner's not going to get around him. That's a beautiful tackle.
Welcome back to Infinity Park. Players rehydrated to close this one out. It's very close, 17 points to 10. And there's Kem Dolan. Can he get it done for his side after his great summer for the USA side?
So we have, so I think, Brian, one of the things is it's about the penalties. What we need is San Diego to give away left penalties.
Nothing is too tough to tackle for former NFL running back Tiki Barber and co-host Brandon Tierney. Get all the sports debate and expertise you need from Tiki and Tierney. Weekdays starting at 3 Eastern on CBS Sports Network.
And it's these penalties that are letting Seattle relieve pressure, but they're not winning their clean line out. So a clean line out here is what they need. They've got to, as you have said, Brian, from the start, championship rugby is about taking points when you're down near the opposition line.
You got a glimpse there of fly half Peter Smith, played his rugby for Norse in Sydney. Also spent some time in Japan and Europe. Found himself in Chicago on an Arena Football League trial. Decided he kind of likes it over here, so he's stuck around, now playing 10 for the Seawolves.
Yet another penalty. Tug leader got the ball coming up, they go quick.
And that's Gordon as he crashes toward the line.
Trademark Phil Mack stuff. Tempo, tempo, tempo. He'll push it when he can.
Mecha, he's over. Can he get the ball down? No, he cannot. He's forced back by the Legion. Mack. Cannot get the ball out of the back there. Very messy. Now he finds Deschelle. Pops the ball back.
Backwards, still have advantage.
That's Hayden out there now. As they turn it back. Oh, low chopping tackle. Devon Short. He brings Rusalika down in dramatic fashion. They come out the back. Suniula. Suniula for a double. He's over. We're going to have to go upstairs to take a look. I think it was very tight in that corner, but Shalom Suniula, he may have bagged himself a second try in this match.
I think he squared it over. It looked like he had it.
Davey, we had a tackle here, and I just want to see that again to make sure he used his arms.
So interesting communication
by Red, and I just want to make sure he used his arms. If not, I'm going back for the penalty for not rolling away.
So he's asking if there's another penalty. If there was no wrap here in this tackle when they came in, and so he's looking there, and I think that's Alec Barton. He's saying, hey, he didn't use his arms. That's illegal. This could be a yellow card.
Davey, I'm seeing it here.
That will be a yellow card low from Barton.
Are you seeing the same thing I am, Davey?
What I'm wondering is why they're not looking at whether Suniula crossed the line or not.
Yeah, I see 20.
Well, the call must have come in from Corbier down here that it's no try.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can assume, Brian. I'm the same as you.
Right.
Yeah. Davey, can you just play that one more time so I can get a position?
So they're playing this up in the Jumbotron so the referee can see it and make a call. This is the way that they use the TMO in rugby. We like to keep the referee's call.
Yeah.
And I think right there, that's fine. Oh, he's having a look right now?
That's not it here. That's not it here. No, we had an obstruction call.
So that's the call for the try. It was lost forward clearly.
And actually, the referee said there was an obstruction that was called on the try, and he said so he wasn't going to give it. He said there was going to be an obstruction, so he's already made that decision.
Okay, give me 20. No.
Yeah, so
you come into the tackle and you have no arms. It's a yellow card.
So no arms by Alec Barton. That's a yellow card and it's a penalty. And the reason the referee did that, as opposed to taking it all the way back to the original penalty, is that this is a better position to take the points if they wanted the points.
Or we have a penalty on the 5 meter over there. Do you want it on the 5 meter? Okay, we'll have it on the 5 meter.
Interesting choice. Brian, most people would take the points. These guys are saying, we're going to take the scrum.
Well, I mean, consider how difficult it's been to get points inside your opponent's 22 for both of these teams. 7 points down, they got the ascendancy in the scrum. They're feeling pretty good, and they also just sent a flanker off the field. So
away here. We had no arms back there for the yellow
it's a pretty easy option for Seattle. They're going for a try.
Scrum.
So what that means is that San Diego are going to need to bring a back in from the back line into the scrum to take Alec Barton's spot as a flanker, and then they'll be down a back.
It looks like Dylan Audsley will fill that role.
Shepard, Hayden, and Gordon across the front. Brand new front row. We'll see if they can have the same success, Dan.
So they're all out left, and it's a 5-on-4 out there. Automatic advantage.
Time off. Listen, I understand he's new. Let's sort it out quickly. Done? Okay. Back down, and then I'll start the watch. Back
A
down.
picture can paint 1,000 words. So
Let's go.
look in
I'll start
Dylan
when you're ready.
Audsley's eyes as the referee's talking about this scrum. He has absolutely no idea what's going on.
And the flanker on that side has to provide support to the prop. So the loose head prop's going to struggle because they're not going to have someone who really knows how to push.
Well, maybe Dylan Audsley was the key to the scrum after all. That's better effort there from San Diego. Seattle, they do secure possession.
Lead!
Dolitahu, quick hands to Shell. They've got numbers to the left, they need quick ball. Smith gets quick ball, goes to the line, turns back, Rusalika. You won't stop Willie Rusalika. There's the try. We're going to be tied up again. What a game here at Infinity Park.
Be very careful about pulling a 9 in.
Great angle there by Rusalika, and it was all created by Peter Smith. The drift across the field, just enough to wrong foot the defense, get him to go to the outside, and then Rusalika comes with a ton of depth, and he is a unit. You're not going to stop Rusalika from getting over the line from this distance. I don't care how good your defense
And
is.
Shalom Suniola's run to the outside, draws the defense. He comes late. It's a classic old Orangi play that just works so well. And like you said, if you're not going to hit him first up, you're not going to stop him, and we're now tied up. And it's the penalties of San Diego that Seattle have really done a good job. And Brian, you've talked about it a number of times. The Phil Mack play on those penalties is let's keep the ball in play. They're not kicking to touch, they're taking scrums, or they're tapping and going.
Well, this is finals rugby, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't get any better than this. All tied up, 17 points apiece, 63.5 minutes gone.
And let's remember that San Diego in that scrum actually did very, very well. The bench is really helping San Diego in the scrum. So even though they gave up that score, they'll be thinking that was a pretty good scrum for us. If we can get evenness in the scrum, and if we can stop giving away penalties, we've still got this game.
By the way, just noticed, we talked about Matt Turner losing a bet. The frosted tips on his hair. Looks like Rosaleka might have lost a bet as well. A little bit of frosting on the top of his dome as well.
Well, you know, Brian, the Fijian players aren't known for their punctuality, so late to a meeting, you would imagine, for Rosaleka as well. You talk about hair on this side, none better than that man, Tolitahu, as he takes it forward. Another touch here for the young Firebrand.
From the side!
White, Smith, they've got numbers here, Seattle. They come back to Smith. Charge down from O'Toole. Turner. Standing back as the pressure valve. The right place there. And now short. Field position here for the Legion. They've had trouble getting points. We weren't really surprised by that. We knew coming in that Seattle's strength lied in their defense. Aldsley. Oh, picked off. Tiberio, he's read it to perfection. You won't catch Peter Tiberio. He'll bring it around under the sticks. And just like that, Seattle get the first lead of the game.
Pete, you could see Dylan Audsley hesitate for one split second. It was almost like a double pump. Wasn't sure to release the ball or not. Tiberio reads it, steps into the gap. He throws it anyways on the second pump, right into the hands of Tiberio, and then no one can stop him.
Absolutely. Seattle have done a great job of taking their opportunities. So as the ball comes around, you're absolutely right. He just stops. It's a great step right inside there by Tiberio. It's one of those things, is either it's a try one way or it's a try the other way, and it worked out for him and he was able to finish it. Great play.
Big gamble by the former USA Sevens Eagle, Peter Tiberio. Watch this, just hesitates. You could see him choke on it just for a moment there, Dan, and then he releases it. By then, it's already a foregone conclusion.
So they just checked the TMO just to make sure everything was good, that there was no offside there. I think actually the Seattle backline was actually a little bit offside originally, but Tiberio wasn't and was able to come up, and so the referee said, look good, let's play.
No mistakes with the conversion, 24 points to 17. For the first time in this match, the Seawolves have their noses in front, and the missile. He loves it, sitting on the bench, waiting for his opportunity.
And you got a feeling, based on the way these players are getting up off the ground and taking their time and holding their knees, that almost everybody on the bench for both teams is going to see time tonight.
Absolutely. I still think the bench is going to win this game.
We saw tag leader in the first 20 minutes take control with his foot. Pete, I'd like to see him step back up, not just with his foot, but on the field, getting the ball from the base. Nick Boyer, he can control the decisions out there, and I think that he needs to play a little bit more expansive.
Absolutely, and I think, again, we've got the ill discipline of San Diego coming back to cause some problems. They took a player in the air, and I think the referee's going to call it. Let's have a look at this.
As the shell goes high, it's Mahoney, hooks into the arm and yanks him to the ground. Dangerous play. And then the extracurricular afterwards is Rosaleka comes in to defend his player.
Well, and you can see the referees are taking a look at the Jumbotron here and whether or not that was a yellow card.
Timing is not right. He is in the air. There is a pull down.
I think it's going to be just a penalty.
Hold on. I can't tell if his foot hits the line, hits the ground first, or if his midsection. I don't need you right now. Davey, can you tell me what hit the ground and give me a recommendation?
Yeah, he's looking to see which body part hits the ground. Feet, it's safe. Upper body, torso, dangerous. Well, it's kind of obstructed there, but this could be a big call for Derek Summers. Could decide the game here. Another yellow card against San Diego.
Okay, can you look at what happened afterwards?
So there's multiple things that the referee was looking at there. Was that were both players in the air going for the ball, and then when it came down, did they look at the, did they come down safely? And now they're just looking to see what happened afterwards.
I don't think.
Was there anything that they should look at here?
Yeah.
I don't think there's much going on there.
Well, there's Russell Lake just taking exception to having one of his players taken out in the air.
Okay, I need 19.
You can see the referee talking about the timing and that he was a little bit late to
He's not in a position to contest. He does pull it. Hold on. He does pull him down, and he does land on his midsection and is on his feet.
What about the guy from wrapping me from the back after?
No, it's dangerous in the air.
So you talked about the bench for these teams. Siasi Mahoney just comes off the bench as an impact sub. First touch, and he's off for 10 minutes. This is huge. Now, San Diego, 2 men down.
They're 4 minutes playing with 13, and it's going to be interesting to see how they play this game. Seattle are going to want to keep this ball in play as much as possible.
And Pete, 2 forwards as well. If we do see a scrum in the next 4.5 minutes, big decision what San Diego do, especially if it's down in the 5-meter zone. Penalty try. Do we see number 4 on the season, Seattle, San Diego?
Absolutely. It's going to be really challenging. Both subs are on the bench, Brian. Alec Barton as well. So both subs yellow carded.
Well taken at the top there. That's Shermer, Aladdin Shermer, Central Washington University product. There he is again. He had an outstanding year in the absence of Ricard Hatting. Smith at the back, Suniula.
Leave it.
And here's where they need to be careful, San Diego, inside their 22. Shermer with another touch.
Play it, counter up.
And it may be stolen, it is stolen. Great counter ruck coming in from the big man in Mitchell. Rob Hoadley, coach for San Diego, very high in his praise of young Mitchell as he makes the evolution from football player to rugby player.
Play the ball.
And Tolatahu, he may have got the steal here.
Leave it.
Boyer does just enough to burrow under there and win the ball back. I love San Diego deciding, you know what, 13's plenty. We'll just play with that many.
And they should be doing more of this. They want to slow the game down, just keep it tight. They don't have enough players, and eventually you're going to see tag leader use his foot.
Audsley, that ball spills back.
That was a possession-winning decision by Dolan off the ground.
Oh, what about that pass from Leader? Forget 13 on 15. The Legion, they're going to attack. It's Augsburger up to the 22. Not releasing, and this is the downside. You make these breaks, 2 players short, 2 loose forwards, no one there to support.
Yes, Sequoia Burke-Combs on the counter there. The poach does enough to get Augsburger on the ground. And all credit to San Diego, playing a little bit of rugby, down 2 men. And then watch Burke-Combs. He's on his feet. He's got rights to the ball, and Piffoletti is just a step late.
And I think we're seeing that lack of support.
No, time's not up, fellas, let's go.
We're seeing a lot of lack of support for San Diego because they can't play their structure. They're losing too many players, and Matt Turner is a very slow coming up there. We'll be interested to see if he's able to continue.
Yeah, Augsburger absolutely lays into him with the ball in hand during that break.
I think he finds the amusing side to it. Matt Turner. Let's hope he can continue for the Seawolves' sake.
And we take concussions very seriously in rugby, so you could see the trainer doing the protocol, making sure he's seeing okay, and it looks like he's good to go and back in the lineup.
And there are a lot of Seawolves jerseys here at Infinity Park early on.
Cam Dolan huge in that line out. Was won by Seattle and then ripped out of the hands of, looked like Deschel.
But now we're to the scrum, right? So I'm not sure that Seattle are going to be so, they're going to have a great concern.
Who's on?
And more changes is Ben Seamer. Also, USA Eagle
Mark, who's off?
steps on the field for Tig leader.
10 is on.
And here we see Matt Turner's collision with Ork. Oh, he cocks that forearm. Oh,
yeah, you could see it from here. Dan, a little bit of a little bit of an introduction to the fullback on the contact.
New front rows, both teams, so it'll be interesting to see how they match up. But we've got two backs in the pack.
Unplayable. No, we're going to reset.
Just 30 seconds to go for San Diego's first yellow card with Alec Barton.
Speed it up. You're having to hold the weight and then it's coming down. All right, let's speed it up if we can, okay? It is stable. No.
Can hear the referee talking to the new front rows. Got to work with them again, get them to work together. Said it was stable, that it went down. What he really wants is for San Diego to move that ball quickly and get away from the scrums.
So this scrum contains Ryan Mattias on one side and Dylan Oxley on the other side of it.
and another big scrum from the Seawolves. They'll turn this one over. Hunting, he picks up Mack. He's brought down by his bootlaces in the 22. They want to play quickly here. Hunting does so. And now Mack to his left has Smith. Smith goes wide to Niula. Mattias, extremely positive tackle there from Mattias to get up quickly. There were danger signs out wide for the Legion. Now to Shell from a standing start.
Ball's out. No. Stay.
Slower ball here for the Seawolves. Now time has expired on the first yellow card, but the player will not be able to re-enter the field of play until there is a stoppage. As Smith goes wide, floats one. Burke Combs. It's a room service passage to the try line, and the Seawolves extend.
Well, so it all came from that scrum, and I think San Diego won the scrum, but Gaffney's really struggled to get the ball out. That great turnover. Phil Mack lives off those kind of scraps, and then even though the great tackle by Mattias to hold him back, they were very patient. Seattle, they had that two-player overload, which means you just don't have the players outside. We had two backs in the scrum, which meant one wing was open. Nice and easy. Beautiful pass by Smith on the way out.
And Pete, just a numbers game. 15 players on 13, and at some point you have to defend the breakdown first because the pick and jam is always an option. You got to resource that breakdown, and once you do, you fall back into that natural overlap, and that's exactly what Burke Combs takes advantage of with a great pass by Smith.
Conversion is 10 Seattle, number 10 Peter Smith.
And this is a big kick coming up here. 12-point ball game. This would push them out to 2 converted tries. You talked about Tig Leader upping his involvement in the second half. This man, Peter Smith, he's done that for Seattle. No surprise. He's used the wind and the conditions, and that strike, absolutely gorgeous. 31-17, the Seawolves in control here.
Well,
and folks, don't go away. Coming up next, the Major League Rugby playoffs continue as the Glendale Raptors and Utah Warriors go head-to-head and fight for a spot in the championship game right here on CBS Sports Network. And it looks like that ticket will be against the Seawolves at this stage.
Yeah, just not enough time, I think, for San Diego, especially down a player, as long as the Seawolves play their game.
There you see the bracket. They're so confident they've already put the Seawolves in the finals.
San Diego might have something to say about that. 6 minutes left in this contest. San Diego will need to score quickly. They're still a man down and will remain so for another few minutes. Do they have a bit of magic up the sleeve?
Well, you talk about magic. That man had plenty in his day. Taku Nguyen looking to reignite some of that here for the Legion. Boyer. Counter ruck comes in from the Seawolves.
Advantage.
Pifoletti.
13.
Offside against the Seawolves.
13 and 8.
So great opportunity here, but they need to score very quickly.
Sorry.
It's funny, Pete, 14 points. 5 minutes in rugby can feel like an eternity when you're up by 14. The last thing the Seawolves want to do here is stop playing rugby and give San Diego an opportunity.
Absolutely, but we know the Legion have a great line out. They're going to bank themselves, score this try, get back to 15 and give themselves a couple of minutes to make it back.
Yeah, and they'll have some time, especially if they can cross over here. This line out needs to go into the hands of Tarori first.
And they find that target you talk about, Brian. Missing 2 forwards. The maul may not be as effective, though. Stagnant, and there's your first pause. Now, Boyer must use the ball. Go short, Audsley. Great contact. Smith brings him down one-on-one. Pass trickles along the ground for Tarori. Boyer. Ball spills out. Seema, there's a chance. Kick needs to be on target. Seema on the full. Maybe the wrong option there. The kick, if he keeps it in hand, there a chance.
Pete, sometimes as a back, you get an idea in your head, and then that idea sticks. When other options are on, you still go back to that thing you were thinking about, and that's exactly what Seema does, because he's got space in front of him. He probably could have run into a gap himself, or at least put someone into one.
He's off. How many?
Kick pass not on there.
Well, I think he felt the pressure to score quickly, and it takes a long time to get over that last meter. That's happened a number of times. And not being able to get over that line out is where this really has made it tough for San Diego. They won't be able to pull it out now.
Paulson takes that ball, picks up Shermer. Now, if you're the Seattle Seawolves, you don't want to give away possession or have a stop in play here. As Boyer spills that one forward, that could be offside.
Not gone and touched by Green, no offside here.
There you go, good explanation from Summers. It goes into a Seattle player first.
So San Diego are going to come back to 15, but they've only got 3 minutes and they've got to score twice, and it is Seattle's scrum. And so if I'm Seattle, you know what I do? Is I just drive this scrum and let the referee make a decision. Keep the ball at the base of the scrum, drive it, drive it, drive it, let the referee call a penalty, start celebrating when you kick it to touch.
Well, there were people out in the world talking about the Seawolves starting to form a few cracks. Phil Mack, his team out there, they've got out the putty, the grout, the trowels. They've worked tirelessly all week at patching up those cracks. That man right there, Ricard Hadding, what an introduction he has been. As now Suniula drives it down the end of the field. He's going to make San Diego go 95 metres. As Peterson finds Nguyen. No option but to attack. Seema. He'll gift the ball right back down to the Seawolves zone. Turner has time. Turner, we haven't seen him run much today. Now he gets a chance in open field, picks up Tiberio. They want to put the exclamation mark on this one. Shermer doesn't go to hand. He has the advantage though. He's taken off the ball, quick hands. Oh, the big man rumbling forward. Can he get there? That's Hayden, spins around. The Seawolves think they're in.
Time off.
We're going to take a closer look though.
You can see some very, very tired San Diego players with hands on hips.
I was okay with the
They're down. They knew the game was up. Ben Seema, 2 poor kicks in the last couple of minutes. You don't want to give the ball away. And just like you said, we haven't seen Matt Turner run, but when he sees the opportunity, he took it.
Tiberio, so good.
Guys, get in here.
He's been a bench player a couple times this year, but really has worked his way onto the field. They know they need him on it. Question that Derek Summers is looking at right now is whether there's obstruction before the try. He's happy with the grounding.
Okay. To me, that's away from the play. So I'm okay with that.
Well, it looks like the big man Hayden, he is going to get to 5 points.
Let's just double check that grounding.
So the great story about Hayden and Tolataru, who've been driving 2.5 hours from Central Washington twice a week to come and train, right up until just a couple of weeks ago when their semester ended. And here he is finishing the playoffs with a prop try. I mean, he ran 80 meters down there to go and support that. That's a pretty impressive effort off the bench. But he's a young guy. He's got the legs and great determination to finish. Just looking to see if there's a grounding now.
So we'll just continue on and award the try. No obstruction. It's away from play.
So tight for so long, guys. And when the wheels fell off for San Diego was during that first yellow card, and weren't able to get themselves back in it after that. The try by Hayden, well earned by the big man from Central Washington.
And it's been the ill discipline of San Diego. They've had 15 penalties against them. Seattle have only had 6. It was something that Rob Hoadley talked about at halftime. He said, hey, we've got to cut away our penalties, and they just haven't been able to do that.
Well, let's think about that first 20 minutes. And we saw Tag Leader just absolutely putting the ball on the mark every time. They went away from that, in my opinion, and stopped playing that tactical kicking game for territory because they got their tails up a little bit with some of the carrying they were doing and scoring. I think they drifted from that. They should have kept playing that game.
Absolutely, and for Seattle, they live off the scraps. They live off the unstructured play, and that's what they did in that try.
The Seawolves will look to close this one out. Seattle fans watching up there in the Pacific Northwest, get online, get your plane tickets, get down to San Diego. Your team will be there July 7th.
Was that already? It was already out.
Yeah, weekend on the beach, Dan. Who wouldn't want to go there?
Yeah, blocking.
And there is the obstruction that perhaps San Diego feel was a minute or two too late from Derek Summers. Boyer goes quickly, but back on the field from his yellow card. As well as Mahoney. Peterson, little kick through. Ball sits up beautifully for Augsburger. They'll get a consolation try here as the winger brings it around under the post. Too little, too late for the Legion.
Yeah, and you know, thinking about these guys, this San Diego team, and we talked about their growth through the year, it's a young team, and that's by design. Pete and Dan, not only the players, but the coaching staff as well. They like what they have going on in San Diego, and these guys will be competitive for years to come.
Absolutely, they started 2 young props, right? And we've heard Rob Hoadley talk about it all week. That Tua Halamaka and Sylvia are young props that are learning, and I think that they're going to learn a lot from this, and they're going to take it on. But they're going to be disappointed. So, Dan, we can't break the curse. We can't break the NFL curse. We start without the team hosting the championship game.
For the Seattle Seawolves, they have 7 more days in their season. For the San Diego Legion, they'll sit back for 6 months and ponder what could have been. It's the Seawolves who run out winners 38-24 over the San Diego Legion. When we return from the break, we'll take a look at the highlights, and we'll also go down to the field with Stacey Payne with our player of the match. Where'd you go?
I went to congratulate Brandon.
Fair enough.
Are we going to get a bio break at some point?
Yeah, because the second open is on.
Oh, that's right. Got it.
What's traffic on the way back? Don't know.
Is that Ben Seymour on crutches?
Yeah, just at the end of the game.
Like, did he kick?
The Major League Rugby Championship Series on CBS Sports Network is presented by Fidelity Investments. By Sharp Business Systems. Transfer day-to-day management of your network and print operations over to us. And by IHOP, the best way to do breakfast all day.
Welcome back to Infinity Park, where Seattle have run out convincing winners, 38-24. We're going to go down onto the field now with our man of the match, Ricard Hatting, who is with our very own Stacey Pace.
Dan, thank you so much. He played more in this match today than he's played all season long. He played only 50 minutes this season because he's been in and out with injury. How were you able to play all these minutes and play so effectively?
First of all, I just want to use the opportunity to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for giving me the opportunity to play this beautiful game, giving me the talent. Like you say, I've been unfortunate with a bit of a concussion situation. I was nervous coming in just for my lungs holding up. Like I say, I've been in and out, probably been training only 2 weeks with the team. It's all glory to him for giving me the power and giving me the oxygen to get me through this game.
Amen. So when you look at a team like San Diego, they're a team on the rise. They've added a lot of players. They've used 51 different players this season. How do you get it done so well against them here in this environment?
I think we told the boys, both teams are prepared evenly. All of us are coming out to do the same job. We just said we're going to have to pitch up with the right mindset, right attitude, and work right. The team's going to work the hardest. So at the end of the day, it's going to win the thing, pull it through.
Congratulations. We'll see you in San Diego.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
You too. And the Seattle fans were out in droves, Dan. So awesome to see.
It certainly was awesome to see, Stacey, and that man, Ricard Hatting. We were a little unsure coming in how he would handle, the coalface, the furnace that is finals rugby. No mistakes, so as we take a look at these highlights, Brian.
Yeah, Gaffney starts things out. Nice look inside by Leader. But then Pete, all Seattle.
And that's right, it was Bresalika. So we thought San Diego had the upper edge, and they did for the first half of the second half, but then it all became the pressure with Tiberia on the launch and being able to finish it. And this was really the dagger in the heart when San Diego were down 2 players in the symphony, playing with 13. A real struggle for them, and just put away with a beautiful pass to Smith to Bert Coombs. Finishes it off, but by then the game was kind of already done. Still working though at the end was Hayden, coming off the bench, Central Washington representative, able to finish it.
With the opportunistic rugby really on the day, you thought San Diego, that's their style. Really Seattle was the team that played with that opportunistic bent today.
And that resulted in a 38-24 win for the Seawolves. We're going to take a short break. When we return, we'll continue the build-up to Game 2 here in the semi-finals. The Seawolves, they're through. Who will face them? We'll find out shortly.
Are we on to the opening of Game 2? Oh, sorry about that, Brian. I literally just threw that on the floor.
Get us out of your way, mates.
No, you're good, buddy.
Do we have matching pens? Almost. Which one was yours?
This one. I know because I stole it from Ink Coffee this morning.
Coffee snobs.
Oh. Silky.
Thanks, boys. Yeah.
Hey, Pat, we're good for a bathroom break.
Yep, all good.
Yeah, you're good.
We're okay? Is that okay? Yeah,
From Infinity Park in Glendale, Colorado, it's the second Major League Rugby playoff clash as the Raptors host the Utah Warriors. Hello and welcome, rugby fans. I'm Alan Stanford, joined alongside by Brian Hightower and Pete Steinberg. We expect another thriller here today, and while the story so far this season has been the Glendale Raptors, 7-1 so far, but the Utah side slide in, 3 wins only, they make the playoffs. They're a team to be on the lookout for.
Well, down the phrase survive and advance could be aptly applied to this Utah Warriors side. They did just enough and took every minute to do so at home in the last game, but they've got some strike runners, they've got weapons. The problem is with them, they can't defend very well. They've leaked in some soft tries. They need to do a much better job today against this dangerous Glendale side.
Tackle still going is Tamalau. He takes it up towards the 22. The ball spills out. Veda Colo scoots down the blind side. And the Tongan superstar, he dots it down. Austin. Oh, giving up the easiest of points here. Over they go. The team attack. Beautiful stuff. The Warriors are in. Hoffengar, he gets the try.
The Warriors would be out of the playoffs. It's that tight right now. Ben Nichols. By Nicolo with some space. By Nicolo into the half. By Nicolo. Tanati. They'll go all the way. And the Warriors have taken the lead back. What a run. And will Pete, the Raptors, they were high-flying all season until last weekend. A surprise upset against San Diego.
That's right. Glendale were the dominant team in the league going into that game, and it was a real surprise that they weren't able to pull it out. They didn't have their Eagles, but they had won 2 games without their Eagles against Seattle and Houston, and they're going to be using last week's game as extra motivation coming into the game today.
Just phase off the phase. Foster to the no-look inside, busting through tackles. It's the local boy, the hero, Maximo Dodgeball.
Court coming either way, breaks another tackle. Campbell up to the halfway line. Putney brings him down. D'Archibald out to Davidson. The footwork from Davidson. Can he hit the throttle? Davidson. Well, the engines are revving. They're not going to catch Harley Davidson. Well, nothing but open highways.
Well, the highest work rates in the forward pack. All over the top. There's space to operate. Chasing down. What a take! What a kick! Get out of here! Harley Davidson streaks away for the opening score.
Rides that tackle, still goes.
Kurditoshvili, the Republic of Georgia. And time out for a short break, and when we return, we're going to hear from the Utah captain, Paul Masike, known as the Man Mountain. Stay with us, rugby fans. We'll be right back.